Hello friends, Mandar here. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to talk about the merit-based immigration system that the administration has proposed in their proclamation that was made on June 22nd. So if you are interested in this topic, please stay tuned and watch this video until the end. I will be covering some specific questions that people have asked me about this topic. So stay until the end and let's get started. So as you are already aware, on June 22nd there was a proclamation made by the administration that banned entry of certain non-immigrant visa holders from outside the country. At the same time, they also mentioned that they will be coming up with something called merit-based immigration. Now what are the details? Nothing has been said so far. So there have been some speculations around this topic about merit-based immigration, when and how it will be implemented. So I'm going to try to address some of these questions in this video. So now let's look at some of the verbiage that was actually mentioned in that proclamation. Now if you look at whitehouse.gov and go to the proclamation that was made on June 22nd, it says the administration will put American workers first as we restore our economy to greatness. If you scroll down a little bit, it talks about moving to an merit-based immigration system. The administration will reform our immigration system to prioritize high-skilled workers and protect American jobs. So it does not go into details about how they will go about doing it, but they have kind of made it as a topic for consideration in the near future with no timelines attached. Now before we get into the topic of merit-based immigration, I also noticed that there was a correction made to the original proclamation made on June 22nd. So it talks about who is impacted by this ban on entry for the non-immigration. So it changes the wording of who is banned from entering into the United States starting June 24th until the year end. So they changed the statement from anyone who does not have a non-immigrant visa that is valid on the effective date of his proclamation. That was the original sentence. Instead now it reads, anyone who does not have a non-immigrant visa of any of the classifications specified in section 2. So basically they wanted to correct themselves and specify which particular non-immigrant visas were impacted by this ban in this particular section. Now let's jump into the topic. So one of the subscribers have asked me that information on merit-based information on this merit-based immigration system is very scarce. Actually, if you look in the internet, you will not find much of the information, and that's because nothing has been shared by the administration yet. But there are some speculations that have been floating around, so I will address few of those topics. So the first question was, what's the likelihood of this getting passed? In my opinion, if they have specified that in a proclamation, it is bound to happen. Now what is the time frame? Nobody knows. Your guess is as good as mine. But in my opinion, I still think that there could be some merit-based immigration coming up in the near future. It could be by the end of this year or early next year. The second question that they ask is, how will it impact the STEM-based MS students? So basically the question is, how will this impact the lottery system for H1B? Now first, let's get one thing cleared out. The proclamation mentioned merit-based immigration for all foreign workers. I want to emphasize on the word immigration. The reason is H1B is not an immigrant visa. It is a non-immigrant visa. But the proclamation says that merit-based immigration will be brought into effect. Now I want to be clear that these are two different things. H1B could be merit-based. So H1B is non-immigrant visa, and if they want to change the H1B process to merit-based, that means they will have to change the H1B lottery system to merit-based system. On the other hand, if they want to change the immigration process to merit-based system, they could do something like Canada or Australia. Now Canada and Australia have a very specific merit-based immigration system in which they consider age, language, education and years of experience among other factors to determine if you qualify for their immigration system. This is very different than what is done in United States currently. So the administration here may be talking about two different things. One, changing the H1B lottery system to merit-based system, and 2, changing the immigration system, basically employment based, to be specific, to merit-based system. So I hope this clarifies. There is also another question that if merit-based system is implemented for, and I presume it's for H1B, they could have a minimum salary requirements of $150,000. Now I don't know where this number came from, maybe it's speculation out there on the internet, but what I would say is they would certainly do so, but it will be region dependent. Now $150,000 may be a high salary for a skilled immigrant for H1B in some of the areas in the United States such as Texas or Midwest, but it is by no means a high salary, say for instance in Bay Area or New York or Boston area, because the cost of living in San Francisco Bay Area or New York or Boston is significantly higher than the rest of the United States. So even if they change H1B process to merit-based system and one of the factors is salary, they will do the prevailing wage update for salary identification. So based on the county or the state that you live in, there will be a higher income requirement to be eligible for H1B. So that is my thought. Now the second question, coming back to how will this impact master's students who are in the United States. I have made another video for options for master's students, and one of the options is getting an H1B through lottery system right after your education is done. So how will this impact the international students? I have no idea, to be honest, but what I can read from it is if they are talking about H1B based on merit, they will give higher preference to students who have studied in the United States with higher education. Say for instance, if you have a master's degree from a US university, you will obviously get higher preference. So that is just my thought. Another point is they could entirely change how the H1B selection is done. Today they do this by a randomized lottery system where there is no logic to who gets picked, at least that we know of. But in future they may give preference to international students who have studied bachelor's or master's in the United States, or they could also give preference to higher salary. So basically one with the highest salary will be given the preference. And also they could be looking at the definition of high skilled, because H1B is supposedly given to high skilled individual. So those are the factors that I think would be considered for merit based H1B selection. So why they might do it? The thing is, countries like Canada and Australia have benefited from merit based immigration system specifically for the skilled immigrant for the long time. They welcome individuals with high skills, higher education, high wages, high income, good language skills, through which they can build a workforce that really drives their economy in the future. So why would US not do it? That is really the question. Another thing is this will also drive competition, wages and skill levels in the US. And lastly, when this might actually happen, nobody knows. My speculation is this might be coming up very soon in the near future. By the end of the year, we should know what's happening with the merit-based immigration or merit-based H1B. And by early next year, I would not be surprised if there is a change to the H1B lottery system. And by early next year, I wouldn't be surprised if the H1B lottery system is changed to H1B based on merit. So that's all I had in this video. If you like this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see you in the next one.